Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Black Panther, issue number 2, Intergalactic uh, Empire of Wakanda. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Last month, when the first issue came out, I loved it, absolutely loved it. This month, I was hesitant to pick it up because I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to keep on seeing the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. I did pick it up, obviously. I did read it. Yeah. I did like it. I did like it a lot. And I'm going to tell you about what such a great comic book this is. And then I'm going to say something else. Ta-Nehisi Coates writing and Daniel Lacuna drawing. Gorgeous. This is a gorgeous book. This is a beautiful book. It's great to see something that's sci-fi. It's great to see something, in Marvel that actually feel like it's in the future and all that stuff. There's not enough, well, I don't want to say there's not enough of it, but yeah, sometimes there's not enough of it. And this is a very great new take. This is awesome. We get to see the Emperor, and man, whew. Yo, so he's in that old Christopher Priest version of the costume, where he's got the hood and the gold parts all over the place, and it's scary. And then it turns out that it's actually a symbiote. They didn't actually say it was, but I'm positive that this is a symbiote because of the actions that it takes. Yeah, so this guy, wow, yo. There's some really fun parts in here, and in the end, man, they pull something out that I was not expecting them to pull out. Like, when they said they were looking for something, I was like, wait, they're in space, and they just said, no. As I'm turning the page, I'm like, no, and then I was right. I was right. And I'm gonna spoil the last page right now. So if you don't want to see this, all right, I'm gonna tell you when I put it down, but right now I'm putting it up. Look at that. What's that say? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, right there, you remember this from the pages of the X-Men. Okay, it's down now. Wow, man. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. So now we're going to be tying into some X-Men stuff. Not just, oh, Storm is getting it on with what's his name? Black Panther. No. Some real X-Men style stuff. That's cool. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So the 22nd of August is when the next issue comes out, and this is what the cover is going to look like and all that good stuff. And just, yeah. Digging it, man. For a comic book that I went in talking about, I don't know if I'm going to like this comic book. I don't know if I should want to keep reading this comic book. It just seems like, Make no mistake. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that with every single comic book that I'm reading from this point on. Dude, we have a serious Luke Skywalker from A New Hope moment in here. Momentary in here at the very least, where the modern version of T'Challa is flying in his ship, and he's surrounded by enemies. Like, we can't come in and rescue you if you keep going in deep. They're surrounding you. He's like, I am not the one who needs backup. And he just like, it looks like he just disappears. I don't know what he does. He does a trick and he ends up behind them, just blows them all away. There's like 5 of the bad guys from the Empire showing up, and he's just like, I got this. Awesome. Awesome. I'm totally digging it. All right. A lot of really cool stuff in here. This is action-packed. This does feel like an adrenaline rush when you're sitting here reading it like, oh, shoot. Whoa. And especially it's like atropine. You know what I'm saying? That's something in the military. If we're ever affected by nerve gas or something like that, or we feel like, we're about to die out, we got like 3 of these. They're good for keep us alive for an extra half an hour. You know what I'm saying? They're not meant, it's like stim packs. All right, just take them like stim packs from the Terrans versus the Protoss versus the Zerg. What was that? StarCraft? From StarCraft. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they give us stim packs that we can use on ourselves for an extra half hour of keep us alive to go and kill somebody. Anyway, that's kind of like what this was, because I'm just walking in this like, a little bit of melancholy, just like, I guess. But now here's the reason for the melancholy. I don't think this should continue. All right, seriously. As much as cool as it is seeing this stuff, I kind of want my Black Panther. Plus, I'm really bothered that they don't have the original Black Panther story anymore. Now, what I'm kind of hoping is that we go back to that Black Panther story again, because there was so much to tell that, like, I'm kind of hoping that this whole Intergalactic Federation of the Black Panther, all this other stuff. Dude, can this just be a dream? Can this just be a dream? But it's 2,000 years in the future. Can it just be that this is a dream that Black Panther's having? You know, our T'Challa is actually having. He's just like, okay, we're going to send off a contingent into space, and this is what's eventually going to happen. But we're going to make safeguards because I had a vision. Can we just go back to our Black Panther? I don't want to just read him in the pages of the Avengers, man. I want back in the modern time. I would really love for that story to continue. Guys, I just went to a comic convention recently, and I met Leonard Kirk. All right? Leonard Kirk is the guy who drew the previous Black Panther run. He drew this for me because we talked for a long time, and he just drew this one for me. It's like really cool. You know what I'm saying? We had a good, long conversation about his run, about his art on there. The guy just wants to work. That's all he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? He'll talk to you while he's working. It reminded me of Jack Kirby, the way that, you know, I read that Jack Kirby would sit there and just, you know, draw while he's talking and having business meetings and all that stuff. And that's what this guy was doing. But I was proud of myself, I guess, because I was talking to him enough and getting some good details that he actually put down the pen and looked up and started having a conversation with me like that. And I'm like, wow, sweet. He's actually really interested in this conversation. One of the things that I was able to pull from him was Adversary in the recent run. It's cool because I'm just like, dude, Adversary. I haven't seen Adversary in the comics since he was in the comics, you know, in the Mutant Massacre thing, you know, say the Fall of the Mutants, I should say. You know, I turned the page and I'm like, whoa, what are we about to read? And I was not fully expecting it, and I'm not joking, man. The art and the way that I just turned the page and boom, it's right there. I had a moment of fear in me like, yo, everybody's effed. And then the next issue, it was all wrapped up. Like, there was such a build-up to that moment. And they solved it in an issue. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, what happened, man? He's like, honestly, I don't know why that comic book was ended that way. I just remember being told this is going to be the final issue. So I'm like, wow, okay, cool. He says that one of the things that he wanted to do was to quickly transition into him changing his outfit. He says that he didn't like the original outfit. It was too tropey, too stereotypical of what what a Native American bad guy would look like. You know what I'm saying? Like with the feathers and the bare chest and the pants with the ruffles and not ruffles, the fringes. And he's just like, yeah, I want to change the outfit. I was like, dude, do you know what the outfit was supposed to look like? He's like, I didn't sit down and actually brainstorm what I was going to do with the costume yet. Otherwise, I would have had him draw that, because that would have been sweet, right or wrong. So he just told me that. I was like, wow, there would have been a new version. I was like, honestly, I like the old version. I was perfectly fine with it. I'm part Cherokee myself, so I didn't get offended at the original one, but I was young and I just grew up with it and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. Somebody else might have been totally offended by that. And then you're going to have people who don't have anything to do with natives who are just like, I'm offended for Native Americans, and we're good. We're good. We're good. I'm just saying, man, that was a great conversation, and I'm really sad that whole story for the adversary stuff is gone. You can't come back to that anymore, right? That's a wasted opportunity because Marvel just decided, no, let's go with the intercontinental whatever, you know what I'm saying, intergalactic Wakanda thing. Don't mess with somebody's story. Let somebody tell their story. Editors, come on, man. You know, your fresh start. Let it happen when it's going to happen, all right? I really wanted that story to continue. The adversary thing, they can't do anything with, but there was a whole lot that ta-Nehisi was doing with the Black Panther story, the Wakanda story that was being told there. And I really just want them to go back and tell that because, oh my God, it was amazing. So I'm really hoping they could do, like seriously, in my heart, I'm really hoping they could go back and just start doing that again. Let this be like a couple of issues. You need it to be 4 issues. You need it to be 6 issues, whatever. Let this story be told, and let's just say it was a dream or something. Can we go back to that other story? Because, man, oh, man, that was just beautiful. That was... I'd much rather have that story than this. Not that this one is bad. It's just, we got an untold story, man. Anyway, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.